Oh, yeah, the soft and soothing sounds of royalty-free music. What is going on? It's JG. As you can see here, I'm the publisher / Commodore at AuburnSports.com now with lighter hair. I just got out in the sun and it changed color a little bit yesterday. That's what it was. Yeah. What's going on, y'all? The Auburn Tigers. Not good. Not a good situation for the Auburn Tigers today. In beautiful Tampa, Florida. Warm Tampa, Florida. It will not be warm here in short order. I decided that even though it's early afternoon on Friday on a work day, we're going to go ahead and start drinking this. Oh, yeah. Royalty-free music. I'm still drinking this Blue Note from the other day. I also have some Nulu. This delicious silver Nulu, which you can find in the ABC stores for approximately $55. I really enjoy this stuff. It's MGP distillate aged, I think, for 4 years, 101 proof, pretty easy to drink. I enjoy it. All right, guys, we got some basketball to discuss. Things have been better, haven't they? Things have been better. What do we say besides they crashed out in Tampa? And there was a lot of folks on the bunker that were kind of seeing this coming together. I think a lot of us, even the positives of us, had concerns. And they kind of shot themselves out of the first half. Texas A&M did a nice job of kind of staying the course for them. And I thought their defensive strategy was a good one. It was a sound one. They were doubling the ball more often than probably any team I've seen Auburn go against this year. Doubling in the post, trapping with the double up high to kind of mess with Wen Green. And then just kind of clogging the lane. You have to do that. If you're going to double the ball in the post all the time, you better have bodies down low to get to the ball quickly. And so that's what they did. They cluttered that lane, and that took away the dribble drive paradigm, honestly. And Auburn was staying away from that. And they were going to go ahead and shoot from the perimeter early. Didn't work. And then when BP and the guys were telling them, Burgo, you've still got to penetrate, I just thought they didn't penetrate with the kind of anger and aggression that you've got to have to be successful when you're taking on numbers that way. And Stephen Pearl, who was on the radio after the game, even talked about that and said we didn't finish strong enough at the rim, which I agree with, and then too much energy put into protesting for fouls, looking for fouls, hunting for fouls, hoping for fouls, dissenting for fouls, and it didn't happen much. And honestly, I don't think it was a big referee situation. I think they were letting the guys play a physical brand of basketball, which Auburn can play. They are allowed to, and they just didn't get it done today. So that's pretty much the quick and easy version of it, at least from my perspective anyway. Yes, there is the score sheet for today's game. Some numbers on there that will absolutely blow your mind. Several for me. KD being 0-14 from the floor is just, that's mesmerizing. I mean, I don't really know what else to say on that. 0-14. 0-14, including 0-6, right, from three-point range? You know, I just can't even sit here and honestly give him much shit. Pipe Player Nick in the house. What up, Pipe Player Nick? I cannot sit here and give KD a bunch of hell either. Like, it's not like he was just dicking around out there. He just had a terrible game. Jesse says, holy ish, take that score sheet down, please. No, you're going to have to sit in it, Jesse. It's that time, bro. I want to hit the super chatters, though. I'm definitely supporting these folks because they support me, as always. Pocket Watch. Again, whom I met at the podcast taping in Mobile a couple weeks ago. So it's time to focus on the tourney that matters. I like the positivity. He is a squadron of positivity. I know Ravine hit me as well. Ravine, this guy, unbelievable. He's always on the road, but he always finds a way, you know. Now that we've got a one and done out of the way, let's make a run in the tourney. That's what I'm talking about. It's the positivity I love to see, Ravine. Thank you, sir, for your positivity and your support of the channel at all times. D Lucky, look at that, fresh off his Trash Pandas night. It wasn't actually a Trash Pandas night, I shouldn't say that. Fresh off the baseball game up in the Trash Panda Stadium in Greater Madison, Alabama. Sometime maybe good, sometime maybe. Let's go ahead and give you. This is Gennaro Gattuso, Italian former football player, now manager.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Yeah, you're right about that, brother. That's exactly what we're getting with this team right now, right? For a long, long time, they played great basketball day after day after day, week after week after week. You look at that beginning to the SEC schedule and just running them off like it's going out of style. And then things got a little bumpy, and teams started coming up with some different ideas on how to defend Auburn, and things got a little bumpy, didn't they? Scotty B in Tennessee says, I'm a very sad peacock in Knoxville. That's very sad. Scotty B, rather. I'm sorry, I was looking at Pooch. You know I love you, bro. I know you're going to rebound from this. I know. At least it wasn't to Tennessee, right? At least you're not living in a College Station. AU Pooch jumping in. AU Pooch. Just glad to be here. We're glad to have you, Pooch. Yeah. Sometimes people get mad at Pooch on the board. But listen, we're all just trying to be family, okay? Real Deal says, Greater Madison, question mark. Uh-oh. I'm not getting into this civil war up there, okay? I love people in Madison. I love people in Huntsville. I don't feel like I have to take sides in this. And I don't want to, because I think there's great people in Huntsville. I know because I've hung out with them. There's great people in Madison because I know I've hung out with them. All right, what in the world can we learn from this? My goodness. Well, you better step it up or you're going to get knocked out. I think that's one thing maybe you can learn from this. And, you're looking at a team here that doesn't have a ton of postseason experience due to COVID and due to NCAA, self-reported violations. And you got to bring your game, man. And tonight, the first half, I felt like they were just kind of listless. It was kind of like A&M were doing their thing, and Auburn was not having a lot of success. And they were like, we'll just keep doing it. And you kind of have to learn how to put it in reverse and change directions, and see, what I'm talking about, instead of just trying to ram the wall over and over again. I felt like that's what they were doing in that first half. In the second half, I think all of us are expecting them to come out fired up. I put this in the game wrap. Put your proverbial foot down in the dirt and say, we're going to change the direction of this right now. And instead, really, the opening stages, the first 10 minutes, let's say, of the second half, really slightly favored A&M, if anything, if it wasn't neutral. And A&M builds its biggest lead of the game with about, I think at the 11-minute mark or so, it was 20 points. That's not how you come back in a tournament situation. You've got to get in there and change it. And they didn't have enough guys who could do it. Once they get down to about 9 minutes left, things start turning. I thought Wayne Green was a big part of that. Had some big time threes. I think he was 4 of 5 from three-point range in the second half. Most of that probably in that last 10 minutes. And at one point there, with about 4 minutes remaining or so, he hit 3 consecutive threes, 2 of them on the break, and got Auburn down to 5 points. Right? Got the deficit down to 5. But sheesh, man, 10 minutes of really good basketball is not enough to overcome 30 minutes of not good basketball. And we go back to what...
sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
It can't be like that, man. You've got to turn it around earlier. And it can't be that bad to start with. Man's opinion. Nacho Hombre, my man, was playing with him the other night on the War Zones. Pretty disappointed, but I still love these kids, man. I am with you 100%. I had to walk away from the bunker just moments ago. I'm kind of glad I'm on the air now because it was really frustrating to me. These people who want to – it's like there's a race among people, and it's not just on the bunker. It's not just on the bunker. I see it in lots of other places too. You can see it on Twitter as well. Are just in a big fucking hurry to be the first one to shit on somebody, right? Like, I told you that this team couldn't blah, 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 whatever. And I don't get it. If you're a Bammer or you're a Vol or you're a dog, and they shouldn't be talking at all about basketball anyway, but now I understand it. But why would Auburn people do that? Why are Auburn people in a race? I'm not saying y'all. Y'all aren't the problem. But there are Auburn people who are in a race. I mean, they're just sprinting to that finish line to give everybody the middle finger and say, I told you this team sucked. Why would you cheer against this team? I don't get it. Bryson says if it was not said already, KD was brutal today. KD was just I don't even know what you can say about KD at this point. Just based on today, right? Like he literally can't be worse. Like 0 of 14 from the floor. Defense was not good. Just did not have enough fire about him, and it's weird, man, because he's all fire. You know, that lady tiger on the bunker, Chantel, you guys, she's not shy about who she is. I'm not outing her. She's very open about who she is. She's a former Auburn basketball player, a former WNBA player. I mean, she's a personality. You may know her as Auntie on the Twitter. Made a great point, and one that I thought about it, but I hadn't had somebody bring it home the way she did. She put this on the bunker. This is a very, very emotional team. It's a team where you have a lot of players, and Pie Player Nick says it's not just Auburn people doing it. It happens at every school, Jay. Good point. I appreciate you saying that, brother. Because, yeah, maybe that's just part of society at large. It's still frustrating to me. Back to Chantel, though. She was saying it's such an emotional team. You know, Wen is a very emotional player. KD is a very emotional player. I don't necessarily think Jabari is. Walker to some degree, but it seems like those guards, man, even Zepp, who is not an emotional person, but I feel like he gets swept away in the energy too, and then when there's no energy, he's not there. And Cambridge is that way. So many important players that it got to have the energy, and if it ain't there, then they don't have it. Canoe Man says, I know her as a bad poster. She's very negative and looks for any opportunity to knock BP. I don't want to take sides on this one, man, because I love you and I love her too. I definitely see where you're coming from. That's not a made-up position you've got there. And I know she's been very, very tough on BP in the past. A coach who is, without a doubt, the greatest Auburn basketball coach ever. And a guy who was getting pooped on in the bunker just moments ago by Ashley Schaefer, who's a good poster. He's not an idiot. For his recruiting. So this is a recruiting problem. Holy cow. Auburn recruits on par with Duke in North Carolina. And it's still not good enough. Cambridge, Spicy P says, why is Cambridge allowed to shoot threes? Does he shoot many? Did he shoot a bunch? My eyes are not what they used to be. He's 0 for 2 today. Shit, that's better than 0 for 5. They just kind of let him shoot in rhythm some, just kind of if the ball gets out to him on a kick out or whatever. But I don't think they ever run stuff for him to shoot threes. And yeah, Spicy P. To me, I mean, if maybe just a little heat check, give him a couple opportunities. Canoe Man says, not looking for you to take sides or my side, just my opinion. I've been wrong before and will be wrong again. So entirely possible I'm wrong on this. No, I mean, you're not. I think the data's there. She's been very harsh. But I have a hard time, for a few reasons, I have a hard time just kind of throwing her away because she played professional basketball at the highest level. So, I mean, to me, her opinion resonates with me more than an average person. Not you. I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm just saying I'm more in tune to listen to her basketball takes. And I think the thing about emotion is something that I kind of felt but didn't necessarily see, and that was a Spicy Pieces heat check. The dude is like 10% from 3 on the year, maybe worse. It for sure feels that way. I bet you he's not that bad, though. Let me see what the numbers are. Cambridge currently is at 24%. That ain't too far off, though, brother. I think it's more about those years in the past, Spicy P, when he had those crazy games. Do you remember, like 2 years ago, when he would actually string together 3 or 4 makes in a row, and it was like, holy shit, this guy someday he's going to bring it all together. And it's just... Pocket Watch says, how do you know Canoe Man did not play basketball at the highest? I'm just pretty sure. I'm making assumptions, and I'm sorry, bro. Canoe Man says, completely get that. Talking about Chantel again, and right there with you, solid point. I think she's right about emotion. That is difficult to deny. Yeah, and I feel stupid because I watched this game, y'all have too, and it never just registered to me until today. Because what was that first half all about? It was about flat. Mobile Alum 1991 says, hey, JG, really worried about the tourney. I understand. I do understand. I am too. I mean, I'm generally not one to get worked up, and I mean, it wasn't until I would say probably at the 12-minute mark, 13-minute mark of the second half was when I even started to kind of be like, oh shit, because I've watched too many games in my lifetime, covered too many games in my lifetime to be sitting there worrying about, Auburn's up 15, Auburn's down 15. I mean, who gives a shit? Like, I've seen it all happen. But when you're down 20 with 10 minutes to go and you're just flatline, like, that's a really tough situation. And even though A&M had a bad give up in their past, remember, if you watched their game against Florida yesterday, they were up something like, I don't remember exactly, 12 with maybe 3 minutes to go, and they had to go to overtime to win that game yesterday. So you're not the best at holding leads. But when you spot them 20, that's a lot. Let's see. Jesse keeping things together says, the loss was disappointing today, and I wish they would have at least made it to the second or third day. But I think some people have forgotten the days of Tony Barbie. LOL, went 9-23 in 1 year. 9-23. Yeah. Cleveland Brown wonders, do we fall to a 3 seed or are we a solid number 2 for sure? To me, the SEC being the second best conference in the country, Auburn being the regular season champion by itself, I think that's worth a 2. I personally probably think it's worth a 1, because Baylor crashed out of their tournament yesterday. And Illinois who was probably a 2 anyway. I didn't hear much talk about them being a 1, but they crashed out today against Indiana. So, this isn't like shocking news here. But with all that said, there's concerns. There are real concerns about this team, and I don't think you have to be a negative Nancy to be the one questioning this stuff. I don't think it's some systemic problem where it's like, Bruce is a shitty coach. Come on now. They need to recruit better. Like, come on now. The problems are smaller than that. Spicy Pizza is 6 of 37 from the floor in the first half. I just don't understand how that's possible. Yeah, some of that is just bad shooting, right? You just have games where you shoot like shit. Just like when the coaches say, well, they won't drop, and they said that today. Andy was asking about that. Well, yeah, got a lot of great shots. They just didn't fall. I do think Auburn's, particularly in the first half, their shot quality was okay. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. They just weren't hitting things. And when you do that, you just got to find different ways to fight, You got to go inside, or you got to drive, or you got to get to the free throw line, or whatever. And Auburn, I thought, didn't really start doing that until the second half. Let's see. Travis J says, hey, Jay, got a nap before my 13-hour night shift. Look at this, man. They call me the working man. Got to say, I've been adamant on Sweet 16 exit. Here we go. Please don't be that guy. Guard play inconsistent. Maybe this wakes them up. That would be good. Somebody was saying, hey, hope you have a great day at work, brother. 13 hours is... Yeesh. That's tough, man. Somebody was saying in the bunker, mid-major guards. I'm like, jeez, man, they're just not playing great right now, but I don't think we should just rag on them. Stuff drives me crazy, man. I get so fried. I don't know why I get so mad about it. I don't know why it makes me angry. I don't know. It's just an irrational disgust. I just feel like if you're an Auburn supporter and you give a shit about Auburn, you should continue to give a shit about Auburn. Canoe Man can do it. Pocket Watch can do it. Like, they're frustrated, but they don't sit there and say, team sucks, coach sucks, recruiting sucks, it's all over. Like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. My man Hayden is in the house. Says, Jay, tell me how sad / discouraged I should be right now. Appreciate you, fam. Man, if we're talking like the old Gene Chizik view from 10,000 feet, I've got concerns, man. The guards have got to find a way to get out of this funk because they've been fairly shitty lately. They have been. They have been. I'm not gonna. I don't have the specifics in front of me, the statistical breakdown, but it just seems like, you go back as far as like the Arkansas game, definitely the Florida game. It's just like the guards aren't quite there, and I like Wynn. He's a good player. I like Zepp. I think he's a little timid, but he's a good player. KD, man, when he's emotional and fired up and giving the mean looks, he's as good as anybody. But when he's in a neutral arena, which is fairly quiet, if anything, Auburn had the advantage there fan-wise, but it's still such a massive arena. It's just quiet. And if you're living on, I don't want to hear about it. You just Eat your donuts and be over there. If you're depending on energy to be the motivating factor and you're in a big-ass arena like that, you're not going to get it, man. And I'm telling you, wherever they play next, whether it's the Bilo Arena in Greenville, South Carolina, or it's in the United Center in Chicago, or wherever the hell they end up going, you're not going to have that energy that you've got inside Auburn Arena. And you're not going to have the energy you're going to have in Bud Walton. It's going to be quiet and empty. They're going to be gray and old. Larry Bird's not walking through that door, fans. Kevin McHale's not walking through that door. Robert Pash is not walking through that door. And if they do walk through that door, they're going to be gray and old. Mr. Matzer says Auburn has been so bad for so many years. Fans should appreciate where Bruce has gotten us. Yeah, we lost today, but before Bruce, we weren't competing for championships, not even close. Sage advice from one of our veterans, one of our older folks. Yeah, Canoe Man says one thing that has slightly concerned me all year is tournament time is all about guard play. Yes, and our guard play is hit or miss. It is. You dirty, dirty boy. Why did it do that?
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
All right, let's see who we can get on the horn here. I don't really know what else to say about it. AU Taxman says, remember Larry Bird wasn't that good, so we might as well go to Brian Matthews. Yes, AU Taxman put me in the very unenviable position of defending Larry Bird the other day because I didn't ever like the Celtics. In fact, I actively disliked the Celtics. However, you cannot deny the fact that Larry Bird was one hell of a basketball player. I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't even know that was something people could do. I mean, he averaged a double-double over his whole career. Good three-point shooter, great free throw shooter, very good ball handler for being who he was, big tall-ass forward. I don't know, man. No need for it. Real Deal jumping in, my man. Wake up, Auburn. You're going to have to earn the W's. Do we have a wake up sound bite? You think the Iverson one might work? No, we got banned for that one last time. Yeah, the swole one.
If I come in here and look swole and big and strong and tough, y'all gonna give me that award, right?
Mobile alum says, so is this on the players or the coaching? Man, I don't think I could distinguish between those two, Mobile alum, honestly. I think that the players are the ones that have got to step up, and I think they need to find their own energy in an arena that's devoid of any. At the same time, I think I think there are lots of times where coaches make adjustments in the players that it just doesn't take for whatever reason. Maybe it's because the players don't understand it. Maybe it's because it's an adjustment they don't know very well. I remember back when Casey Ross Miller was the quarterback, the point guard here. BP would signal stuff to him, and he just wouldn't run it. And BP would be like, "What are you doing? Did you not see me do horns up?" And he'll be like, "I don't know." And he's just like, BP like, well, fuck it, he doesn't know. I mean, I don't know. He just says he doesn't know. Ravine says, I have no words for what happened today. For the future, we need a game that scores from the inside out, not outside in. Like a new basketball version? Or I know what you're talking about, really. Stoop Up says, real talk, KD is a fake tough guy. By the way, Stoop Up did have a super chat earlier. I missed it, but I would never actually miss it, for real. And Biscuit as well. Hold on, I'm coming to you, Biscuit. My bad. And Stephen Nash. Good God. Must have been on a rant, got really emotional about it. I'm an emotional broadcaster, aren't I? Stoop Up, keeping the streak alive. The longest supporter we've ever had. I mean, the guy's here every single show. It's unbelievable. He and Ravine are just unbelievable. One bad half or a bad run will beat you in March. You learned that today, right? Although it went a little bit longer than a half, but point taken. And listen, man, I mean, we love looking back and waxing philosophic and poetic about that 2019 Final Four run, but, I mean, several things had to go right late for them to beat New Mexico State in the first round. Remember that? It was the toughest game they had, I swear, outside of the Virginia game. And you're that close. Two things go the wrong way in that game, and Auburn loses in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and here we are. It's a much different tenor, right? So, yeah. You've got to be ready at this point. I mean, look, man, if Auburn's played, 32 games, and they don't know how to kick it in gear. I mean, A&M's not that good. I mean, they're a bubble team at best. Probably not going to make the tournament. Let's say get on, you got to win this next one. I don't know what to tell you, man. That's crazy. Stephen Nash jumps in as well. I'm sorry that I missed this earlier, bro. I went on a rant and just kind of lost my way. He says, my thought is when you don't see the correct passes and ball movement and certain players are out of control, KD, you can't leave timeouts on the table. Do everything you can in tournaments. Yeah, so this is kind of getting to one of the overarching personality traits, I guess if you want to call it, about BP, which is that he is averse to timeouts, right? He does not like calling timeouts. He very much appreciates players, teams, his own team, digging themselves out of trouble instead of him calling a timeout because he feels like, at least he says this, the timeouts fire up an opponent fan base more so than a hit bucket. There were a couple times today where I was like, no, here comes a timeout. Oh, wait, no, it's BP, And I don't know if it helps or it hurts. I really don't. You just get down to the weeds a little bit with me, but Stephen Nash, I understand where you're coming from on that. He definitely calls fewer timeouts than most people would agree is a reasonable number. Appreciate the support, brother. I'm sorry I didn't shout that out earlier. War 77 Eagle in the house. Wow, I haven't seen him in a minute. Brutal game, fam. KD will come back strong next game, no doubt. But ouch, that hurt. I like the positive attitude. It's good to see you, brother. Shoot. Call me Biscuit. Absolute legend. We were talking about Biscuit, Brian's former dog Biscuit on the show the other day. And, of course, Call Me Biscuit came up. We used our one mulligan. We will be fine. There we go. Some positivity. That's what I like to see, what I like to hear. What an absolute stud. Cameron M. was jumping in there. If they played like that in the second half, it would be a different story. Yes. Not necessarily the second half either. It was the last 10 minutes because I thought the first 10 minutes of the second half was just more. I mean, Texas A&M actually pushed the lead out a little bit further in the beginning of the second half, which I did not expect at all. But in general, yes, I understand where you're coming from, bro. Looks like D. Lucky had a post here. We got out coached today, though. They doubled the post, doubled Jabari, and then packed the paint. They invited us to shoot threes with anyone but Jabari, and we couldn't make them pay. Which speaks to me, it's the second biggest problem with this ball club, which is that there's just not enough good three-point shooting, right? You have one really good three-point shooter in Jabari, and then you have three okay ones in Zep, Wen, and KD, although they're all trending down. Well, not Zep, but the other two are trending down. And you need at least two really good three-point shooters, and Auburn only has one. And that's what D. Lucky's talking about. My number one problem with this team, this is just me talking, is the black hole at small forward, which Ashley Schaefer was talking about on the bunker, and I was kind of giving him hell about it. Not necessarily about that three hole. It was just recruiting in general. But Al Flanagan, I don't want to give him much hell because I know how hard he's working, and he's as mentally engaged as he's ever been, and he goes to practice, and he does what he does at practice. He's quiet, but, I mean, he digs, man. He's trying. He's done all the rehab and everything, and he's busting his ass at practice. He's a good defender. He's doing everything, but he's not scoring. And it's like if they give him opportunities and they say, all right, here, take this possession and do something with it, and he almost always flops. I don't mean flops like draws a fake foul. Like he just fails. And he did it again today. 5 points. I mean, he wasn't like a huge black hole the way that KD was today, but, I mean, we know what he can do. He's done this. Spicy P talking about Flanagan was supposed to be all SEC. That was the missing piece, and he just doesn't have it. It's sad to see. It is. It is, Spicy P. He's supposed to be a major factor on this team, and he's not. And it sucks. And it hurts. It hurts the team, it hurts BP, and it hurts Al. And it hurts Wes. Because Wes knows, man. He knows how hard his son's working. Canoe Man jumping in with a super chat because this guy is just, he's all about the team, man. He's all about doing what he's got to do to make the channel and the team better. I love it. Please smash the like button, folks. This is why we call this guy the king. He's the Canoe Man, but he's actually the king. Stupo says Flanny was plus sign today. Yeah, I mean, I told you he was industrious, particularly on the defensive end. I thought he was a plus the whole way through, man. But it's like when they give him the ball and they need him to shoot, it sucks. It's a mess. He can't hit. He fumbles the ball away every game. It's like this, and it's just I don't understand it. To me it's the biggest problem with the team, and I hate saying that because it makes Al look like a jerk. Well, why don't you just play better, Al? Well, he's trying, man. He's doing everything he can. See, Stephen Nash says, why don't we see our lefty small forward and Johnson on the court with Jabari much? He can mail threes. Lefty small forward. You talking about Al? Because most people would argue that Al plays too much. We got one of our reasonable callers calling in right now. It is AU Storm 20. What's up, brother?
Jay, I'm doing good. How you doing, man?
It's awesome to have you on the line today. Are you in Montgomery?
No, I'm in Auburn, but I'm from Montgomery.
I knew that. Okay, yes, I got that mixed up. How are you doing, brother?
Man, that was tough to watch.
I know.
Very, very frustrating.
I know you're a very rational, reasonable fan. I know that. And you're still frustrated, aren't you?
It's more of a disappointment because, I mean, obviously the way that we've been playing on the road is it's nothing new. It's nothing surprising. It's been something that we've been concerned about all year long. And then, to the point where it's like, you know what, maybe things will change on a neutral site. We always seem to start off so slow, so methodical on the offensive end on the road, and never seem to really match other teams' intensity, or just, I don't know, it just always seems like we let the game try to come to us and not assert ourselves in the way that we can in the second half. And I thought that was going to change. I thought, this team may be different. They got a good, nice win at Mississippi State, beat South Carolina, coming into with a little bit of momentum, and then just, man, that was just brutal to watch in the first half. And that was what was most disappointing to me is just, we didn't get the ball down low. I know it's a big thing. I know they packed the lane a lot, but we've kind of gone away from that recently, where I don't know how many post touches we actually had today, but it wasn't a lot. It didn't seem like we tried to take advantage of our height. It was tough to watch. And that was what was disappointing to me, was the fact that, on a neutral court, we'll see how we come out. We'll see how we play. Maybe it's better. And it wasn't. And we got into a hole and played a desperate team that needed to win, and they got the best of us. I mean, give them credit. They made shots when they needed to. They didn't turn it over too much in the first half, which gave them a big advantage. And, everything went wrong, could have went wrong for us. I was disappointed also to not see Jabari get the ball down low a lot. I think when we needed baskets, that could have been something key, or at least get in the ball to at least facilitate to someone else. He seemed to just stay along the perimeter a lot, and he's been doing that a lot the past couple games. It feels like, I don't know if he's fallen in love with the three a little bit too much, or that's just been our plan for that. But, I was hoping that we would get the ball down low a lot more today just because of their size, and they wanted it a little more down low. I mean, people complain about the effort. I think the effort was there. It just, things weren't falling our way, and that just, it's how it works sometimes in March, and you can't do anything about it in a one-game scenario. It just, sometimes it falls, sometimes it doesn't, and we saw that a lot in the first half.
I think the thing with Jabari is, and also with Walker, this team doesn't have any brutes. Like if they're going to double Jabari, he just doesn't feel comfortable doing that. That's not him. He's a face-up 4, and then Walker's kind of a face-up 5, really. So when they double you and they have fairly big guys, I just think it takes them completely out of whack.
That's funny you mentioned that. I think that the tape started coming out on them a little more in terms of a brute and being physical down low. I think Sanogo was the first one to expose that a little bit with Kessler. We played a lot of finesse teams, a lot of teams that didn't have a lot of those brute guys throughout the season, and Kessler was able to take advantage of that. I mean, obviously with the amount of blocks, but those teams that really took it to his chest, really played physical, Harry Coleman was that way today. That hurt, and that got him in foul trouble early. It got him to where he couldn't be as dominant down low, couldn't block as many shots, and that's one thing I'm a little nervous about is if we get one of those teams that are pretty physical down low, we don't have those brute guys. It's concerning. And I think Texas A&M did a good job of taking advantage of that today and taking it to the rack. And they did that in a different way at home against us, and we were able to take advantage of it. And they changed their game plan up. And give them credit, they executed well.
Yeah, they did. And I thought those doubles really messed Auburn up, and they cluttered the lane and took away the dribble drive and took away the rim running. And that's something that these teams, particularly teams in the NCAA tournament that have some size, are going to be doing that. I still think the thing is you're kind of throwing a penny in the well, hoping that they're going to hit the threes today, right? And KD goes 0 for, and Wynn had a really shitty first half, and it's not a team that really needs to be relying on 3-point shooting. You know that. And in the NCAA tournament, I don't know, maybe they'll strike gold. It might have to come to that, honestly.
Well, I mean, I think us Auburn fans remember more than anyone 2019, that team did strike gold. That team shot and played and executed and beat one seeds, beat teams that probably should have been better than them, and that just happens. And Texas A&M did that today. They had guys that shot. They'll probably go 2 of 18 tomorrow from the three. It just happens, and it's frustrating when you play teams like that are desperate, that might have 1 or 2 guys that can get hot. And Jimmy Dykes made a comment in the first half. He said, "Oh, that's what happens when Texas A&M gets wide open looks. They're getting much better looks in Auburn." I disagree with that completely.
Yeah.
I thought we were getting great looks. We just weren't hitting them.
I tend to agree. I didn't think Auburn's looks were bad. No.
I didn't either. I mean, I think there was one possession where I think we shot 5 wide open threes and missed all of them. Devin had like a rebound. Cardwell had a rebound. Jabari had a rebound. We just bricked all 5. And it was like, oh, it's going to be one of those games. And it just happened. And
yeah,
it sucks because I was excited about watching basketball weekend. Now I'm kind of bummed. I'm like,
yeah,
puts a little bad taste in your mouth watching the rest of the games. But, I mean, it could have went one of 2 ways. It could have been a really good tournament with a team that maybe played a little better on a neutral site like they did at home, or it could have been the regular season road team that we saw throughout the season have the same type of game, and that was the result we saw today. So we can only hope that they can learn from that, come out with some intensity in the tournament against whoever that may be. Look, it's all about matchups. We all know this. It's all about matchups. We got to get a good matchup in that first round, depending on what type of seed we are, and hope that the 7, whatever that, we probably be a 2 seed, so 2-15, 15 seed. Got to hope it's a good matchup, and then whether the 7-10 matchup, that's going to be huge. And the deepest NCAA field we will probably ever see. It's wide open. So we got to hope that we go get some rest, get Walker's shoulder a little better, and try to make a little bit of a run. But it was a disappointing day. I was disappointed.
I get it, man. They just didn't quite fire today. Not enough. And it exposed the fact they don't have enough 3-point shooting. But, maybe they can catch fire. That's the only way it's going to work consistently in the NCAA tournament, in my opinion. Because they are going to come up against teams of size. I mean, Purdue, Illinois, Arizona, those teams, they all have a lot of size, and they're all going to be a problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, 1 seeds are in big danger. I mean, the top seeds are in big danger because I think even 1 seeds, the 8-9 matchups this year are going to be insane. So any of those top seeds are going to be in huge trouble come the second round because there's going to be teams that were projected pretty high this year that might have had a bad year that are starting to turn it around towards the end, and anybody's exposed. I mean, look, you saw Indiana, who's not very good, take it to a really good Illinois team because they needed a win. They played a little more desperation. They executed a little better. Baylor last night against Oklahoma, they're way better than Oklahoma. That's just how it goes in March. And
Yeah.
I'm going to need a little bit to get over this one. Probably be over it by, I don't know, what time is it? It's
2:51.
So probably about 4 o'clock I'll be over it. But
Yeah, okay.
it's just a huge bummer. It's my favorite time of year. We didn't get to enjoy this a lot before 2017, right? And so now we're really invested in it. You wanted to see us make a little bit of a run, get a little bit of a revenge game against Arkansas, and that's just a huge bummer.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Well, we'll just have to regroup, bro, and see what happens for next week. And I know I'll be counting on you to call in for those shows too, bro.
Yeah. Hey, also, I don't know if you know this or not, but just if everybody could keep your thoughts and prayers with my stepfather-in-law, WMO. He's been battling with some health issues, and I just want to give him a shout out. And I know he's probably listening, so he's been in the hospital for a while. So if y'all keep him your thoughts and prayers, that'd be amazing.
Definitely put those up for WMO. All right, brother.
All right.
See you, man.
Keep
Appreciate
going,
you
JT.
calling.
We appreciate it.
See you, man.
No problem. Anytime.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
There he is, A Storm 20, giving a shout-out to his father-in-law. Is that right? WMO. I was going through some health stuff, so we're thinking about you, brother. Let's see. Kevin B says, KD shoots like I play golf. Grip it and rip it. Hey, now. I actually sent a text to B-Matt, hoping to catch him, and did not catch him. So they may be, when you go to these tournaments and stuff, you end up in some weird places trying to get quotes, and you're in the bottom of the arena, and you have to hold in basically a pig pen waiting to get into the locker room, and you sit there for 30 minutes, and it can be very hard. My mom also called me while we were doing that interview, and I wasn't about to turn it off, but I actually just want to call her back. I'm just curious to see, because she knows I'm on a show. I want to hear what she has to say here. Just hold on a second, y'all. Hey, Mom, it's Jay. No, I've just been doing my show. I'm on the show right now. Are you okay? But you had somebody calling. You thought it was me. What did it say? Like Jay? Oh, okay. No, I haven't been. Okay. I think some M&Ms make you feel better. Some M&Ms will make you feel better. See what I mean? I'm full of good ideas. All right, love you, Mom. Love you. Bye-bye. All right, that was my mom. She thought I'd been calling her. I have not been. B-Matt just texted back and said, give me a few minutes to get out of here. So, yeah, that's what happens is you get stuck down there. D. Lucky says, great call, AU Storm 20, as always. He is to our basketball coverage what Auburn alumni is to our football coverage, right? Like he's just he's the one you want to hear from. I mean, D. Lucky too. And the thing about D. Lucky is he's good at all sports. Like if we were doing an equestrian show, he would be good at that. I bet. I don't know. I haven't really gotten into it with him about equestrian, but I bet he would be. Kadeem says M&Ms make everything better. My mom loves candy, so I bought her a box of M&Ms from the Walmarts, and I put them in the refrigerator. And, my mom's like almost 80, and she was like, I never thought about that. Why did you put him in the refrigerator? Did you forget about him? I was like, no, I put him in there on purpose. Nacho hombre. Fat crack. Here he is. Fat crack. You're killing me, man. JGT, forget the drain. Let's play some zone. Haha, the writing was on the wall. No guard play equals no success come tourney time. Anyway, word amigo, sir. Fat crack, my man. We had a bouncy road the other day playing in Warzone where we kept getting like second place. Canoe Man, thanks, Fat Crack. I appreciate you, brother, man. Canoe Man says, do not forget about Croc. I mean, of course not. I wasn't talking about like globally, but Croc doesn't call in on their show too often. Of course, we love it when he does. He's the master of the the bunker basketball daily updates. He's incredible at that. Games of note and lines and all that kind of stuff. I did pull over. I want to go over here to this page. The current, as of this 1 second right now, the current KenPom standings, which are generally pretty good when it comes to like the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee. I would imagine that their numbers look a lot like this. I know they go by net officially, but if you watch KenPom's predictions, almost always are right on the money. So Auburn drops from 7 to 10 due to that loss today. Illinois took a tumble off your page there. They're actually down to 18 after they lost in a similar game to Indiana, who's about on par with Texas A&M, and Illinois and Auburn to me are similar as well. So that's what happens. Baylor only dropped 2, right? They dropped from 2 to 4, losing to a pretty good Oklahoma team. And then Houston, I'm guessing Houston got out. They were struggling today. Forget who they were playing. Okay, they beat Cincinnati 69-56. I thought that game was a lot closer at some point. Yeah, but Houston is another team to definitely keep an eye on. They are a real problem. If Auburn ends up as a 2, right, they're going to be facing up in some region with one of those top 4 teams. Although Kentucky, I'm still a little question. I got some questions about Kentucky. Spicy Piss says, oof, that's a 3 seed. Yeah, right. If they were seeding directly off this, you're right, they'd be a 3 seed. But again, the fact that they're the regular season champions of the number 2 rated league, I think Auburn's going to get. They're going to be seeded higher than what you would see statistically. You know, it's kind of like in baseball where when you're scouting players, not only you bring your radar gun and you write down things you notice, as a quick delivery, repeatable delivery, looks good on his elbow, et cetera, et cetera. You look at stats and you look at that data too, your blind eye data. So it's not just the data like this. I think the fact that Auburn's the champion of the SEC, which has had a very good year, is going to put them as a 2 seed. I believe that. So that's just my thought. So then you're looking at 2s. Okay, who are the ones? I mean, Gonzaga. I'm still skeptical about Kentucky. Arizona and Baylor are for me, no doubt. And Houston. They might be able to fight their way in. Texas Tech has been playing good basketball too. A very technically sound team. So yeah, this is not. Bottom line, this is not where you want Auburn to be right now. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but this is not where you want Auburn to be right now. They're just not playing anywhere near their best basketball right now. And it's a source of much frustration. And, you look at I'll go ahead and pull in their whole season KenPom here. And you guys have lived it. We've all been living it. But it's tough to look at, man. I mean, it is, because they had it going for a long, long time. And now they don't. That's your whole season right there. And you can see, man, a lot of green up there. And they get to number 1, and then it's kind of boom, 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 right? It's kind of if. D-Licky says got a conference call, BRB. We'll be here, bro. Spicy Pieces, I'd love to be in Gonzaga's bracket. I'd be interested to understand what you're talking about there. Do you think they're kind of fake? Not as good as you think they would be? Because they seem pretty damn good to me. That Drew Timme dude is a problem. And he's the kind of girthy, big-ass power forward. I don't think he's like an overpowering player, but he's the kind of dude that Auburn doesn't like. Auburn has had a lot of problems with this year. He kind of has old man game, but he's just big and girthy and difficult to move. And Arizona, don't even get me started about them. They're just like super tall and super big. And Auburn wants none of Arizona. I'm telling you, that's not a team Auburn wants to get tangled with at all. Oh, man, I don't know where we go from here. I don't know. I mean, I don't think the season's lost or anything, but it's just, to go flat now. Ugh. Let's type it in BMAT here. Let's see. Spicy P says Gonzaga's overrated. I live in California, so I could go watch Jabarbar in person. He's trying to get Auburn out there. Canoe Man says, let's get into D-Lucky's conference call. Could be Drain Goldie. Let's go ahead and patch that in. Guys, can you get that? Can we patch that in? Why are you saying no? Don't tell me no. That's the one rule. Don't tell me no. You could say I'm working on it, but I don't say you're working on it. It can be a 5-year plan to work on it, but you just say you're working on it, if you don't mind. Let me look at the NCAA places they could go. Everyone's figuring that Auburn is going to go to the Greenville. But at this point, man, once you get down into the 2 range, and potentially 3 anyway, but probably 2, you don't get preferential treatment anymore. You get moved around to wherever the hell they want to put you. And I still think that Auburn looks good for the Greenville, South Carolina regional. Other places they could go, however, Buffalo. Oh, God, no. Indianapolis, Fort Worth, Texas, Portland, Milwaukee is Algonquin for. God dang it, I forgot what it is Algonquin for. I bet you'll remember. Canoeman will remember. San Diego, CA. That's where Spicy P wants to go. And to be honest with you, I would like to go there myself. I was there last in, 09, I think it was. I was covering Bam Bams back then in the newspaper business. We used to just kind of cover both teams, and I covered Bam Bams out there in 05, I think it was, at that very arena, San Diego State Arena, which is actually such a weird place to see a basketball game. They had a football stadium, and then that's on campus, and then they abandoned it, and I guess they started playing at Jack Murphy or whatever, built the fucking basketball arena in the football stadium. So, like, basically they built the stadium on the football field, think of it that way, and then the walkways, still to this day, when you walk into that arena, you're standing at the top level of the arena, and you take like walkways from the top of the football arena straight into the basketball arena, and you're like, 60 feet over the ground where the old football field used to be. It's a very strange deal. Let's see. Spicy Pieces. Hell yeah, that's an hour down the road. Yeah, without traffic, bro. I know where you live, more or less. See you in San Diego, JG. Listen, man, if they're going to San Diego, I will meet up with you, bro, because that's my hood, man. I grew up in San Diego, sort of. I mean, I did. I was like the first half of my adolescence. The rest of it was in Tulsa. Tulsa, okay. Lived very close to Oral Roberts University. That's why I still pull for the Golden Eagles. Let's see. Canoeman says Indy is set up for a great tournament. Thank you, AU Taxman Algonquin, for the good land. Thank you. Is also the only major U.S. City to elect a socialist mayor, if Alice Cooper is to be believed. Crazy. Well, I mean, dude, can we actually get to a point where we can actually break these down, where we can actually say who may be going where? I mean, I guess we could. Why not? Fuck it. I mean, it's not like nobody's telling us we can't. Let's go back to the. Yes. Okay, so the 1 seed, you're thinking Gonzaga. I mean, Kentucky's like. Do you guys trust Kentucky? I don't trust Kentucky. Gonzaga, Arizona. See, so Gonzaga, Arizona's a problem. That means one of them's going to get moved, and it won't be Gonzaga. So Arizona gets shifted somewhere else. And then Baylor. And then if it's Houston, those two are going to get, somebody's going to get shifted out of those two. And they're going to try, I think they're going to really try to put Duke in that Chicago line. But the way the pods are, the pods don't necessarily match up that way. So I don't know. We'll have to see what goes on. Would Auburn be in the same regional as a Duke? I don't think so. Which means Auburn's probably not going to go to Greenville then. If Auburn's a 2 and Duke is a 2, then Auburn's not going to Greenville. They'll put Duke in Greenville. And they would move Auburn to somewhere like Fort Worth, Indianapolis. Would be my guess. Indianapolis is badass, as Canoeman mentioned earlier. Fort Worth is one I'm just not real familiar with. Dickies Arena, is that TCU or something? I don't know anything about the greater Dallas area. Dickies Arena. Opened in 2019. The first event held in that arena was a 21 Pilots concert on November 8th, 2019. How about that? How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? It is indeed in the greater Fort Worth area. Just a little bit west of Fort Worth, but still in the major metroplex there. I can't imagine wonder who plays there. Hell, I don't know. I guess that'd be cool. I don't know. Reports are coming in that from Spicy P and others that Arkansas is doing some damage to LSU right now. And Mamadou Dat, who is our favorite brain drainer / bunker from the greater Indiana area, is pulling for Indianapolis, although he does not live in Indianapolis, but it's not too far away. Canoe Man says Indianapolis is underrated. The area around Lucas Oil, the arena, the convention center is shockingly awesome. That was not my experience the last time I was there. I covered Cam Newton at the NFL Combine in 2011, so that's been a long time ago, where I coincidentally had a one-on-one conversation with the quarterback from the 49ers, Colin Kaepernick. At that time, he was just kind of like this dude that played at Nevada and was there, and it was like, hey. And I found myself near, like, the way those things work is, they have the big stage where Cam is, but they have lots of other little stages. Like, I don't even want to call it a stage, like a little podium, where like not major players come for interviews. And so I happened to be sitting with the Browns people, and for whatever reason, like they brought Colin Kaepernick to like one of those really small podiums right near where we were sitting, and so he was kind of there by himself more or less. And I was just like, "Fuck it, I'll just go talk to him." And I had a conversation with him. I wasn't going to write anything about him. Like, y'all didn't give a shit about that. But I found him to be very impressive. I've always been a fan of his. Anyway, when you go to the Combine, not that you guys give a shit about this, but all you do is sit in that arena and wait. And it's really, really boring. Like, you can't hardly go out because you never know when the next kid's going to come in. Like, I knew when Cam was coming in, but there were a bunch of other dudes there that I had to write about. So you never have a chance to get out. And I ended up being at TGI Fridays like 3 nights in a row, bro. It's just terrible. It's terrible, Canoe Man. I should have done better, but that's what happened. So yeah, it'd be awesome to see Auburn go somewhere fun. Let's see if we can get on the horn with B-Matt. He told me he was on the move, and he says he's ready now. My bad. He already got back with me, and I was too busy babbling with you guys.
What is up?
It is Sir Brian Matthews. Where are you at, bro? I mean, I know.
I'm outside Amalie Stadium. Is that how you say it? Or
Amalie Arena?
Yeah, there you go. It's kind of blustery out here, windy. Yvonne's going to come pick me up here in front of the stadium. So, yeah, not the outcome we were looking for today.
No, I think that's fair to say. Are you out of breath? How are you doing, like, cardiovascularly?
I feel good. I mean, it's beautiful weather out here. The wind is blowing. It's nice and cool. I mean, it was a little walk out here around the stadium, but no, I'm okay. No heavy breathing, no panting, no sweating.
Are you, like, on a speakerphone or something?
No, it's just the wind blowing really hard.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. So tell me about postgame, man. Just kind of like the feeling of the players and the team, just kind of in their interviews.
They were not too down. They were still, disappointed certainly, but felt like, it was one of those games where they didn't shoot the ball well. They had good open looks. They felt like they moved the ball well. I know in my game thread on the bunker, there are a ton of post threads about, Auburn is not moving the ball. They're not passing it. They're just taking, bad shots. But I didn't really feel that way. I thought they took a lot of really good shots. They just couldn't make them. And, most of the talk in the postgame was around, what Texas A&M did, which was pack out the paint, do some different double teams here and there, but really try to force Auburn to beat them by hitting the three-pointers. And Auburn really wasn't able to do that until, Wayne got hot there in the last 7 minutes. Auburn was just out just abysmal from three-point shooting.
Yeah, terrible, like horrendous. Any feedback at all about KD? I don't know as I've ever seen a player take that many shots and hit none of them. I mean, concern about that?
Yeah, I asked Jabari that exact question almost, and he said that he's not concerned at all about KD. He said he's going to get back in the gym and work his tail off and be ready to go, and the whole team believes in him. But, the one thing Pearl mentioned about KD was he didn't draw any fouls, and that's a big, big part of his game. So, if you're going to certainly he didn't shoot well like the whole team, but I think the biggest thing that maybe he did wrong was not getting the ball to the rim enough and drawing fouls like, he's done in the past, like he's done so well.
Yeah. From your perspective, B-Matt, do you feel like your expectations for what they could do in the NCAA tournament, have they changed?
They still have a chance to make a run. They just can't go out there and shoot like that, right? They've got to be able to knock down shots. I think a lot of people have been right. The guard play is the one area of this team that, is not as good as it needs to be, not as consistent as it needs to be. So, they're going to have that shot until they don't, right? Because if this team does shoot well from the outside, if KD knocks down shots, if Flanagan can knock down some shots, if Wendell and Depp can, hit some threes early in a game, they can beat anybody, right? Because that opens up everything you need for Jabari and Walker. So I think this doesn't really change my expectations for this team. I still think they're a team that can make a run. I think making it the Elite Eight would be great for them, but who knows? But it also shows that they're capable of losing to just about anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the first round, but just about anybody if they don't shoot well like they did today.
Yeah, it was a mess today, man. So we're just going to have to wait until Sunday now, right?
Yep. I think it's 5 o'clock. CBS is selecting Sunday. And they'll get their bid. I would imagine they're probably a 2 seed, probably a strong 2 seed. And, we'll see if they can get through those first couple of games. They should have a fairly, decent opening opponent as far as a team they should beat. And then they'll get into a much tougher game in that, next game 2 days later. I guess the one positive from this is they've got time. They've got at least a whole, 6 days or maybe a whole week to get ready for this next game. So if they're tired, if they've got, heavy legs or whatever, this is a good time to get over it and just work on the things they need to work on.
Get Walker's shoulder 100%, right?
Yep.
Could
Although,
do
I don't think that was a big part of
I don't either.
today, but yeah, that would help.
Yeah,
sure.
No doubt. All right, well, you and Yvonne going to kick it tonight? Are y'all going to get drunk and liquored up?
We are going to go out with some friends that live down here that we went to college with. So, yeah, we may have a drink or two. Yeah.
All right, word. Well, have fun. And tell Yvonne thank you for being so awesome, all right?
All right. Say hello to everybody out there. Y'all take care.
See you, bro. There he is, Brian Matthews. Sounded surprisingly together, right? Cardiovascularly speaking, as Canoe Man and Pocket Watch like to call him Wheezy. And somebody was waxing political. Bob decided he was going to get political, and I had to ban him. Even though I think he's a fine commenter, I don't. Let's not do politics, guys. That shit just bugs me. I don't ever discuss it on here. I very rarely discuss it on the bunks, and that ain't me. And all it does is get people angry, so let's not do it. Canoe Man says, so be mad is standing me up. Canoe Man wanted to get on the conference call here. Spicy P says he passed up on skiing this weekend to watch this tournament. You know who did not make that decision? That would be Dad of 3 girls. To whom I promised you guys, well, really to him, but in front of you guys, I promised that I would get his cup to him. He earned that cup. He won that cup. He was bestowed that cup in October. And I finally went by his place of business and dropped it off the other day. He is actually skiing somewhere out west for his birthday, as he should do. Everybody should have a great time for their birthday. So there you go. He is not worried about the Auburn Tigers in the SEC tournament. I'll put that to you that way. I'll let him speak for himself when he comes back. But anyway, I did deliver that cup the way that I said I would, that glass. And I had to deliver it in a Merry Christmas bag because it's all I had. Merry Christmas in March. What an asshole. I'm such an asshole. Mama Dudette says, dudes need to dominate at their roles, not do too much. Need something to change. That seems fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair, say. Yeah. Well, where else we going here? What else we got to discuss? I mean, it's kind of a bummer day, really. Let's see. Ruxy Poo says, will Auburn ever win another basketball game? People are asking. I'll just give him one of these again. Oh, no, it didn't play it.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Ruxy Poo says, glad we get to rest up before the real tournament. That goes for me and you too, Ruxy. I got a feeling Auburn's going to play some 9 o'clock p.m. games, bro. And since I'm going to be there on the site, at the site, doing their thing, it means our shows are going to be at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And we're going to have to all be lit. And I know I can rely on Pocket Watch and Canoe Man to be there with me at the show, but I don't know if I can rely on all y'all. Some of y'all are going to have to be there with me. I don't know if it's going to be Ruxy Poo. Although that formidable trio with Ruxy Poo, Stutsy Poo, a.k.a. Stultz, and Call Me Biscuit would be that'd be a formidable trio to have with us as an accompaniment. You guys would be absolute legends. I'm looking forward to kicking it with a bunch of bunks when we go on the NCAA tournament trail, because I'm telling you guys, it ain't going to be a one and done. It's still a good ball club. Canoe Man says I'm there with you, Commodore. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I know that. I know I got you. And that's why you're the Canoe Man. You're not Canoe Man. You're the Canoe Man. You're the only one that matters. Period. I could go into synergy, but I don't really want to go into synergy right now. I don't even want to know what it tells me. I don't want to know what it tells me. So, Locked On says, should have known we would lose with that 11 a.m. tip. Locked On's a big fan of the Jefferson Pilot games. That was his favorite. Jefferson Pilot was his favorite type of game ever. I'm just kidding. It's not really. Matt K in the house. Late to the party. Our shooting couldn't have been worse. It actually could have been worse. But for KD, it couldn't have been worse. 0 of 14, including 0 of 6 from 3. That's not good. To his credit, he stopped shooting at some point there in the second half and was like, y'all just go ahead. Let's see, Lee jumping in. Question is, will this affect our ranking in the NCAA tournament? Because at first people were saying Auburn would be a number 1 seed in the tournament. Now we might drop to the 2 or maybe even a 3. Auburn is not dropping to a 4. Please get yourself together. In a certain situation, I could see a 3 maybe, but probably. I mean, again, regular season champion of the number 2 conference in the country. Like, that's a 2. That's a 2 seed. That's a 2 seed. I'm willing to bet my house on it. They're going to be a 2 seed. So, and Roxy Poo agrees with me, so that's a settled issue there. Let's see. Sam says, I'm going to be really sad when this season does end. You sound like Sergeant Kilgore from Apocalypse Now when he goes, someday this war is going to end. Everybody's like, yeah, it'd be great to get out of Vietnam, but not him. No, he wants to stay in it. A little bit different, I get it. Matty K says 2 seed for sure. Yeah, I'm glad we're on the 2 seed train. The question is really who's the number 1 seed, and does that once you go from number 1 to number 2, now you're at the behest of somebody else's region, and I don't know how this affects Auburn. I keep thinking they're going to go to Greenville, but now I think Duke's going to be a number 2 as well as Auburn, and with Krzyzewski and all that kind of crap, they're going to put him in Greenville. So that means Auburn's going to get bumped somewhere else. Could be Fort Worth. It could be Indianapolis. I doubt it's going to be anywhere super far away. But, I mean, again, Kentucky, the year they won the Natty, they started out in San Jose. I don't remember what seed they were, though. But we were all shocked when Kentucky got sent out there in 90. I take that back. I don't think it was 90 the year they won the Natty. It was the year they didn't win the Natty. It was 97. I think they started in San Jose and then ended up in Indianapolis for the Final Four, the national championship game, and lost it to Mike Bibby and Richard Jefferson and those fuckers. But sometimes you get moved around. Sometimes you get sent out wherever you end up going. Mr. Matzer, who always has his eyes on the prize, says, I'm good with whatever seed gives us the best bracket for matchups. That's the right answer, Mr. Matzer. Lee wants to know, Big East, any predictions on who wins it this year, the conference tournament? Big East. No, not right off. I mean, I can't. I'm a Providence man myself, but I think they've already lost, right? Did Providence already lose? Seems like they lost like a 1-point game recently. I could be wrong. I don't know. I like Providence only because I've been there and it's really cool, and they have a cool logo. They like this really scary looking cloaked up friar. No, they play Creighton. They beat the Butler Bulldogs last night, and they're going to play the Creighton Blue Jays today. Ken Palm believes that they're going to win that game. Providence College Friars are my pick. Mama Dudette says there's still a Big East? Question mark. Canoe Man says highlight of the day was sitting next to Keough pregame. To be fair, that would be the highlight of basically anybody's day. Man's a very, I'm trying to think of the right word for him, a very chiseled physique, a very larger-than-life figure. And if I was going to have, someone's going to come beat my ass for some reason, I would love to have Keough just kind of nearby. I think he would be able to dissuade almost anybody that was thinking about doing me harm. I don't know why Mama Dudette's got to talk junk about the Big East. I don't know. Big East is a big deal up that way. I mean, seriously. Providence Friars, Villanova Wildcats. Forgot about them. We got D Lucky on the horn now. He's off the conference call and he's into our hearts. What's up, D Lucky?
What's happening? Conference call is done.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're working through your day as usual.
Yeah, I'd hope to have a little bit more powerful and prideful day, but it did not work out the way that I hoped. So, oh well.
You talking about from a basketball perspective or from a business perspective?
Basketball. The business part's done fine. I don't know. Maybe I used all my mojo there. I don't know.
Well, buddy, kind of a shitty game, and now everybody's kind of in the dumps thinking that Auburn can't get much done in the NCAA tournament. Your thoughts?
Not to that point yet. I think AU Storm 20 kind of talked about it. One is matchups are going to be key for us for sure. And then the thing that I think that Bruce doesn't do regularly that he's just gotta flip the switch is he's got to manage these postseason tournaments like you have to manage postseason baseball. Like you can't let a guy go one pitch too long and give up the 3-run dinger to put you completely out of it. You got to pull him earlier than you normally would. So I get the rotation. I'm not saying he's got to shorten up the bench, but he just got to think about it completely different. The way that A&M was running their defense, I said in the chat, that's like Lior's game all day long. If they're going to post and put that much in the paint and give us wide open 3-point shots, then why is our second best 3-point shooter not in the game at all? Just give him a couple of shifts and see if we can get A&M out of that defense.
Just a little heat check,
And
maybe.
and then take advantage of Jabari and Walker's size at that point because they were doubling both of them and taking them out of it. So they had to kick the ball out, and every time they kicked it out, it was wide open threes. We couldn't knock them down, and we just needed somebody to hit 2 or 3 of those in a row for A&M to go back to the bench and go, hey, we got to come out of this, so they're going to, the game's going to get away from us. And we never could. We never could get that.
To D Lucky's point, Lior is currently a 47% 3-point shooter, I will say. 47%.
We didn't even need 47% to have a shot today. If we hit 3 of 10 today, we'd have had a really good damn chance of winning this game and, throwing away. Because the number of open looks we had in the first half that we just completely missed.
Yeah.
Again, if we just hit 4 of those, the game's different.
What did you think about Devin Cambridge? Devin Cambridge had a wide open 3 from the diagonal shot there, first half, and he airballed it right into Jalen Williams' hands.
That's exactly the point. That's part of being well scouted, and they knew who's on the court and what they can and can't do, and we fell right into the trap, and we kept falling right into the trap over and over. We were like Wile E. damn Coyote. The roadrunner kept inviting us to eat this damn bird seed, and we just never saw the anvil above our head.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, Stephen Pearl gave him credit on the postgame. He said they out-scouted us, and I thought, yeah.
I hadn't heard that, but that's completely what I saw from what I watched. It was just everything that we did well, they had a plan to stop it, and the thing that we do the absolute worst at, they invited us to repeatedly do it, and we didn't go, hold up, wait a minute. Can we do something different here with this? And if we play other teams, I don't know if they'll have the ability to execute the exact same way. Because, again, I think matchups is part of it. And then the other part that was a little bit different, some people talked about energy. The defensive energy wasn't where it normally is. There were some 50-50 balls that I feel like normally we get to and we take advantage of, and we didn't today.
Mm-hmm.
And I think A&M, playing a game ahead probably, got that. But there's one possession that was, probably a 5-point swing where we get a, fumbled ball and Katie's about to pick it up, and we look like we're about to have a 5-on-3 break going the other way. And
he
we
fumbled
kind
it
of dropped
away.
the ball again.
Yeah.
He fumbled it away. A&M kicked it to the corner, and they hit a 3.
That was tough.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if you saw this, but KD had his hands up in the air like, what's happened? And I'm like, that's all you, buddy.
Yeah. Just pick the ball up, then find somebody, and then get up the court. The alley-oop at the end of the half was another one of those, just like, normal plays that we can make, we didn't. And we didn't need to be superstars shooting the three. We just had to be competent, and we couldn't do it.
Not even competent, man.
Nope. Now, I don't really believe that's going to repeat itself. I truly believe that. I don't think that's going to repeat itself. It sucks we had to find out this way, but if we had to, I'd rather find out this weekend versus next weekend. So the next part of this just becomes, can Bruce make the necessary changes he needs to make with himself to help the team kind of get through those ruts that are going to inevitably come? And I know he doesn't normally use timeouts, but again, he's got to manage these games differently. So we don't get down 12. If we get down 6 and we make an adjustment, and how does this play out differently if that's the case?
Yeah. You wonder if this game today, if it would have been different had he called a couple timeouts there to stem that rally that A&M was making. It's a good point.
Yeah, it wasn't like A&M went on one of those crazy, the crowd's getting hyped, run. It was just they went down, they would hit a pretty good shot. We would come down, run offense, and get a wide open shot and completely miss it. And then we'd go back to do the same thing, and then we'd get another wide open. There was one the play where we got the ball underneath the paint, underneath the basket. Dylan, instead of going up and punching the ball through and just getting 2 points or getting fouled, he kicks it back out for a 3. And it's just, that wasn't what we needed, but they had completely gotten us mesmerized into let's shoot open 3. And we were trying to find every way possible to get 3-pointers up.
Yeah. I know.
To our absolute detriment.
Yeah, and that's not Auburn's personality. It seemed like they like to shoot them, but they don't like to make them as much. And they were just kind of banking on that today. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's almost as if, they talk about statements or whatever, and I don't know if they came in with, this belief that, hey, we're just going to shoot better and we're going to show people that we can shoot. And they forgot the number one priority of, hey, let's win the game.
Interesting point, D-Lucky. Sometimes you do get wrapped up in stuff like that,
Get a little too focused on trying to execute and show people, a different side of yourself or, something, a skill set that you got, and you just lose priority of, what we call the kingpin outcome. The number one thing we needed to do today was find a way to win the game.
That's the kingpin outcome, right?
Yes, sir.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Are you going on the NCAA tournament trail at all? I mean, if they're somewhere nearby?
Well, it seems like Greenville might be not as much of a possibility, but there are plans in order if they're in Greenville to try to at least make the Sunday game. If
word. Okay.
Things work out that way.
What about San Diego? I feel like people in San Diego, you'd be fine there.
I know some people in California, and I know a buddy of mine who used to live out in San Diego, so I'm sure as hell he could show me a spot or two.
All right, that's a done deal. You, me, and Canoe Man, we're going to fly private. We're good.
Even better. I know Canoe Man rolls like that, so I'm happy to tag along.
Damn right he does. Pocket Watch and Canoe Man are a mess together, man. I'm telling you.
Exactly. So now, hopefully everybody's not completely down. It sucks, but frees up everybody's weekend, find something productive to do because we're going to be busy the next 3.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's going to be a very cold weekend in Alabama, particularly up where you are, man.
Yep. Bundle up.
So bundle up, buddy. Hey, thanks for calling in and making sure it's a legit show when you call in. So thanks for doing that.
Appreciate the love as always. Appreciate you having the show.
All right, see you, D-Lucky.
Peace.
See ya. There he is, D-Lucky. Possibly our greatest caller. I mean, we have a lot of awesome callers, that particularly during football season, but D-Lucky's, as mentioned earlier, he's great in basketball season. He's great in football season. If we do an equestrian, if we do a gymnastics show, he's good at that too. He just knows his shit. He loves him some Auburn Tigers, and he pays attention to it all, honestly. Me and Jay Head were talking back and forth. He had corrected me to note that Richard Jefferson was not on that 97 Arizona team, but Miles Simon and Mike Bibby were for show, as he mentioned. I need to look and see. Some of those dudes I didn't hate, though, because I had it back in those days. You could interview everybody. Mike Bibby, Josh Pastner, who's like a big thing now. I thought he went to Michigan. He did go to Arizona. Bennett Davison was an all right guy. He was like a power forward for them. Jason Terry was okay at that time. Eugene Edgerson I interviewed. Miles Simon I interviewed. A.J. Bramlett was the guy I was thinking of. He's a good dude, too. There's some good guys on that team. But it does not include Richard Jefferson, so thank you. And I thought Bibby was a turd. I really didn't like Miles Simon. Although me and Miles Simon got it worked out later. We really actually did. But yeah, Jason Terry was kind of a young guy at that time. I had a better time the next year, in 98, when when Kentucky won the national title in 98, went to San Antonio for that one, and I got a one-on-one, a long one with Andre Miller, who was the point guard for Utah. He said it's tough going to Arizona, man. It's tough going to Utah, man, because when I'm not in class, man, everybody knows. And I go, I'm such an asshole idiot. I go, what do you mean? And he goes, there's not a lot of black people at Utah, man. And I was like, oh yeah, felt like such a moron. I just wasn't thinking that way. That's just young and stupid. I didn't think about that. Slow on the pickup is what I was. Let's see. Canoe Man's joking about the private flight that we were going to take to San Diego if needed. He says, haha, we'll need y'all to chip in since I am poor. However, I can probably arrange that for us. Do we have a sound for that? What? What? We don't have a sound. How can we not have a sound bite for that? For flying private to California and you don't have a sound bite for that? My goodness.
Yeah, on Monday, I won't make it on Monday because I got someone calls on Monday.
I don't even know what he's saying, but that's beat, of course, from the Stern Show. Let's see. Canoeman says, cannot begin to explain how much the drain helps to Taylor Swift, a tough loss. Hey, now. Spicy P says, y'all can bunk with me, JG, and Canoe. Dude, you don't live like at San Diego State or anything. You far off. You're ways off from there, bro. San Diego State was my number 3 school. No shit, out of high school. It was Transy, UK, and, well, I guess it was 4th. Oklahoma State was my next choice. And then San Diego State. Canoeman says, not joking, I can get that set up for us. Seriously, if it comes to that, we may talk about it. Because I know a guy who might be able to fund that. Because I can't, but I know somebody who might. It kind of weirds me out flying private, honestly, because remember when Payne Stewart died because he flew private? And I was like, I don't want to die like that. But shit, I guess dying anyway is weird. Bad at this point, so anyway. See, Anthony R says, what does our roster look like next year, JG? Good question. Really, I mean, they're definitely going to lose Jabari. And I don't know how to approach Walker. I do have a basketball roster page I could pull up. I haven't pulled this up in a while, so I can't speak to if it's on. It's not well maintained. I'll put it that way. Yeah, we'll just play around with this. So anybody that's on Pearl, I think, is going to be going bye-bye. So Akingbola, I think, is going to leave. I think Simo is going to leave. I think Jabari's going to leave. Kessler is like 50-50, so we'll leave him there. So that's who's coming back. Right, and then you add Trey, who's a point guard, and you add Chance, who's a shooting guard / wing. So they definitely need reinforcements down here. They need a power forward. They need an impact. Why? I don't know why my thing's right here. No, not there. They need an impact 4, no doubt, no matter what. I would argue that they need an impact 3, no matter what. May need an impact shooting guard as well who can hit threes. They need a mad bomber. They need a Scotty Pullman. They need a Bryce Brown, somebody like that. But still have it's just a really good core. It's a really good core. Let's see. Canoeman says, can Stretch leave with the visa considerations? I mean, I wasn't advocating him going to Australia or anything. Like, it's a different school or whatever. He's fine. Matt K says, Simo loved this team. Yeah, I mean, he does. He likes being here. He's a good dude. Well, Trey or Chance start over our current guys. Not sure how good they are. So Trey definitely not. Trey's not going to start over Wynn or Jasper. He's going to be a rotation guy. Chance is a weird one. Chance is a player who has switched high schools so many times that, like, he never has had a chance to, like, play for the same coach for any period of time. And I really believe that, like, staying in the same system with the same people under the same rules is how that's how you kind of light speed kids. Kids who make huge jumps in their ability to play. I think they've got to have a stable base to get there, to be able to launch off of that. I'm speaking kind of alliteratively, but you know what I mean. And his life has been so, his basketball life has been so jarred and mishmashed that I just kind of wonder if it's going to take him a few years to kind of get settled, learn how to play for the same coach with the same rules day after day after day, and then just see where he can kind of bounce out from there. I don't anticipate him being a starter. I mean, but if he's a 40% three-point shooter, which I don't necessarily think of him that way, but if he is, I mean, he'd play a good amount. Josh wants to know why is Chance Westry listed as a point guard. I mean, I think of him as he could be a lot of different things. He's got size, so he could play different positions. He's not some little short guy. Now, Trey is a little bit short. I mean, that's not miniature, but he's probably, 6'2", 6'1". And they just have a real feeling about him. I'm not sure that everybody's got the same opinion that BP has on Trey Donaldson as everybody else. I don't know. He just got a real feeling about that kid. Just the same way, it was exactly the same way you had about Bryce Brown. He's like, that kid can win. I can win with that kid. And so they offered him, took him away from Charlotte, of all people. And he ended up being one of the greatest scorers in Auburn history. Let's see. J-Head thinks that the chance to combo guard, he'll get time at both guard spots. Yeah, combo guard's fair. Again, does have some height. And I don't think with the hype around Auburn this year, and again, we got the NCAA tournament coming up, but the hype that's around Auburn this year, I think they're going to be all right in the portal this year. I really do. I think they'll be able to get some needs addressed. You don't have to go out and get LeBron James or Michael Jordan. You just need Scotty Pullman. Like, if this team right here has Scotty Pullman, I'm talking about the 99 version of Scotty Pullman, they're on fire. This team, they've got it. They're good. They don't have to go get Michael Jordan. They don't have to get, Rasheed Wallace. They don't have to get a superstar. It's just, you got to fill the spots. That's how I feel about it anyway. Spicy Pieces got to have a three-man. Yeah, you got either got to double or triple down on Al and hope that he just comes back after an full off season. I don't know if you can do that. Or you got to go out and find a three, and you got to find a two who can shoot threes. A two who can hit 40% from three. It's got to happen. You got to have it. I think I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. We've been going an hour and a half, and Auburn lost, and it's just kind of a bummer. It's going to be cold. I know it's going to be chilly willy in Alabama this week. Let's see. D. Lucky says the 2022 version of Scotty P would also upgrade the shooting. Scotty's like 40 now, isn't he? He's probably older than that. I had a chance to see him not too long ago. It was probably 6 years ago. It was in the new arena. Yeah, it was probably 6-7 years ago. One of my all-time favorites to talk to. J-Head thinks if Al's healthy, we're okay at the three. I've had that opinion the whole way, but I'm starting to wonder a little bit, J-Head, man. Dude, it's like 25 games now, bro. I just keep waiting for him to have that breakout game, and I just don't see it. It just feels like he's always at that same baseline of performance, and it's not very good. But I'm not shitting on the kid at all, because I'm telling you, he busts his ass. You know what I'm talking about, J-Head. I know you're not saying anything different. He's trying so hard, man, but it just ain't there, at least on the offensive end. And a Canoe Man was fortunate enough to see Sir Scotty Pullman in Minneapolis in 2019. I didn't realize he had been there. D-Lucky says he's wrecking a 40-plus league right now. I have no doubt. I don't think he is, man. I don't think so. I mean, not to say he's gotten out of shape or anything. He looks like 40-year-old Scotty Pullman. He's like thin and looks like he's in shape, but I doubt he's out there crushing it on the court. And he wasn't a very good defender when he was 20, and much less when he's 42 or whatever. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up there. I'm sad that I can't deliver you more content because I thought we would be doing this all weekend, but it is what it is. My advice to you is don't despair. I still think this team's got a lot to give, and KD. Knowing him, knowing his personality, he's not going to take this line down. He's not going to be like, well, shit happens. Like, he's going to be a tornado in practice and his personal life these next 5 or 6 days, and I think you're going to see, a different KD when they hit the court in blank, Indianapolis, Fort Worth, wherever. Lee Band says this feels like one of those years where everybody counts us out and then we shock the world. I like that. I like that positivity, Lee. I do. D. Lucky says selection show drain. I think we'd have to do that. I do think we have to do that right after the selection. I don't really want to be on there when they're doing it, or maybe we would. I don't know. Let's talk about that. War Report jumping in. Mike G says, "Bruh." Yeah, I was texting with him earlier. The day could have gone better. I put it that way. Canoe Man says it's the Arkansas State timeout. This is gold. When they hold up, it reminds me of the almonds, right? They used to the Red Diamond almonds. Yeah, that's what I always think of when I see their flag. Blake D says, "Well, it was simply atrocious shooting performance, but these things happen. I still believe in our amazing team for the dance." That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate you, Blake. Always a man of distinction and positivity. That's what I love about you. Spicy P says, "We're done, Mike. LOL, you missed it. Cue up a TWR stream." Josh D says, "Have you thought about playing Warzone on a private server with people from the drain?" I don't even know if is that a thing? I mean, I play on Xbox, so I don't know if that's something that Xbox people can do. Dude, seriously, I'm like the most brain dead console gamer you've ever heard. I play Warzone and I play FIFA, and I'm like 50-year-old guy playing them. Although my ban has been lifted, I'm not banned anymore for calling someone a dick. That's all it took. All right, seriously, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Appreciate you all. I definitely believe that a 2 seed is a guarantee. Howard believes that as well, and that's exactly how I feel about it. And I think my prediction now is that they're going to go to Indianapolis or Fort Worth. But we'll see. If they go to San Diego, we'll just walk there. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Anyway, guys, have a good weekend. I know it's going to be cold, at least in Alabama. If you guys are in other places, Spicy P probably not dealing with that problem. But others, be good out there. And I will see you guys on Sunday for the selection show. We'll start plotting out our travel strategy, and we'll also start taking a look at some of the teams in the pod. I'll be able to pull up their synergy profiles and be able to scout them kind of in real time. All right, guys? Until then, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. It's been a great season so far, and let's buckle up and get ready for March Madness because this is March 11th. See you guys. Peace.